Okay, so this video is the continuation of our topic about eliminating a parameter given a set of parametric equations. Keep in mind that we are eliminating a parameter as one strategy to graph a parametric equation. So let's get started. Our first example is uh, x component equals 3t and the y component equals 6t minus 7. Keeping in mind, if you can remember in our previous video, we will take the x component and solve for t. And once we solve for t, we're going to plug in that t to our y component. So let's go ahead and solve for t from our x component. So x equals 3t. Since I'm solving for t, I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So I will have on the left side x over 3 is equal to t because 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1. So your t is equal to x over 3. Now, because we already have the t, we can go ahead and plug that in into our y component. So I will have y equals 6t minus 7, just rewriting it. Y plugging in my t, 6 times the t is x over 3 and then minus 7. So right here, let me rewrite that 7 down. Okay, so right here, I can distribute my 6 to the x over 3, and that gives me y equals 6x over 3 minus 7. And then 6 divided by 3 gives me 2, so I will have y equals 2x minus 7. That's going to be my y. All right, number two. My x component is equal to the cube root of t minus 1, and I would like to solve for t. But first, I have to get rid of my cube root. So to get rid of my cube root, I can raise both sides by 3, because you know cube root is 1/3, the index is 1/3. So by doing that, by raising both sides by 3, the 1/3 here and the 3 can be canceled. So what you have left is x cubed equals t minus 1. And since I'm solving for t, I can add 1 on both sides. So I have x cubed plus 1 equals t. So if this is x cubed plus 1, if my t is x cubed plus 1, then I can go ahead and use my y component and plug in the value of my t. So y equals 2 times x cubed plus 1 plus 1. So simplifying it, distributing my 2 to the terms inside my parentheses, I should have y equals 2x cubed plus 2 and then plus 1. Combining like terms, I can combine 2 and 1. So y is equal to 2x cubed plus 3. And that is going to be my y function. Number 3, my x component is equivalent to t plus 2 to the second power. I'm gonna be solving for t. So what can I do first is to get the square root of both sides so that I can get rid of that squared. So I will have the square root of x equals, on the left side, equals t plus 2. And then since I'm solving for t, I will subtract 2 on both sides. So my left side of the equation should be the square root of x minus 2. So keep in mind that the square root You see that small bar there? That is my indication that the squared only goes up to x and minus 2 is not included. Equals t. Now I have the t, I can plug that in to my y component. So y is equal to the square root of x. Again, my square root symbol goes up to only the x value, x, and then minus 2 minus 4. Since I can combine -2 and -4, I should have y equals the square root of x minus 6. That's going to be my y. Okay, last problem. Our x component for number 4 is the square root of t plus 1, and the y component is t squared plus t. So the same process, let us solve for t given the x component equals square root of t plus 1. So I'm gonna subtract 1 on both sides first so that I can isolate my square root of t. So x minus 1 is on the left side equals the square root of t. Now to get rid of the square root, I'm going to square both sides of my equation so that I can cancel out the square root. So t on the right side will be equal to x minus 1 to the second power. All right, that's my t. So I can just plug that into my y. So that's going to be y equals. This is already a squared, so I think we're gonna raise our x minus 1 to the second power by 2. So I'm gonna put x minus 1 to the second power. I'm gonna use bracket so that I can raise the whole quantity by 2 because of this exponent right here, plus my t is x minus 1 to the second power. All right, so I think I can simplify this part, the first term. So that's y equals x minus 1 to the fourth power plus x minus 1 to the second power. And of course, we can simplify this further by multiplying x minus 1 to the fourth by itself 4 times and then add it to the product of x minus 1 um, and x minus 1. But we're not going to go that far because that's going to be really long. So I'm just going to end here. All right, I hope this helps.